LeBron's impossible block, the moment that stopped the NBA world. It was over, or at least it seemed like it was. Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals was heading toward overtime. The score was tied, the clock ticking down. Legs were heavy. And then, in a sudden burst of athletic magic, the impossible happened. Do you remember where you were when it happened? The world held its breath to witness LeBron James' impossible block. Date: June 19th, 2016. Event: NBA Finals, Game 7. Matchup: Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. Venue: Oracle Arena, Oakland, California. Time remaining: 1 minute and 50 seconds. Score: 89-89. A deadlock on the edge of history. The 2015-2016 NBA season had already been one for the books. The Golden State Warriors, coached by Steve Kerr and powered by the Splash Brothers, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, had rewritten what was possible in the regular season, finishing with a record-breaking 73-9. A team of finesse, efficiency, and unmatched perimeter shooting. They were the defending champions, the juggernaut, the inevitable. But standing in front of destiny was a different force. A team driven not just by skill, but by pain, hunger, and a city's desperate hope. The Cleveland Cavaliers, led by hometown hero LeBron James, were chasing what had eluded the franchise since its founding in 1970, their first NBA championship. Cleveland wasn't just playing basketball. Cleveland was carrying decades of heartbreak. For LeBron, this wasn't just another finals. This was a promise made, etched into the hearts of fans and into the media the moment he returned from Miami in 2014. I'm not promising a championship. I know how hard that is to deliver. But what I can promise is that I'll work my hardest every single day to bring a title back to Northeast Ohio. LeBron James, Sports Illustrated Essay, 2014. Now, here he was, Game 7. On the road, tied game, less than 2 minutes left. One possession could change everything. The Oracle Arena was trembling with noise, filled with a sea of yellow and blue. The Warriors had the experience, the crowd, the confidence. But Cleveland had momentum. They had clawed back from a 3-1 series deficit, something no team had ever done in NBA Finals history. This was no longer just a basketball game. This was a battle for legacy. For Steph Curry, it was about validating the greatest regular season ever. For Draymond Green, it was about redemption after a suspension in Game 5. For Kyrie Irving, it was about proving he belonged among the elite. For LeBron James, it was everything. Redemption for 2011. Deliverance for Cleveland, solidifying his place in the pantheon of the greatest to ever play. The stage was set. Every dribble, every cut, every pass was loaded with consequence. And in just under 2 minutes, one of the most iconic plays in basketball history would unfold. The moment that would define a series, a legacy, and perhaps an entire city's identity. It happened in a flash, a sequence so fast that it was almost impossible to process in real time. But for those who witnessed it, whether in the arena or through a screen, it etched itself into memory like a scar of brilliance. The Warriors had just forced a miss on the Cavaliers' end. Andre Iguodala, the 2015 Finals MVP, known for his experience and high basketball IQ, secured the rebound and immediately took off in transition. The clock showed 1:55. The game was tied. Every second was now sacred. The Cleveland defense was scrambling. The Warriors had numbers. J.R. Smith, who had been backpedaling, did everything he could, stepping in front of Iguodala just enough to delay him. But it wasn't enough to stop him. Iguodala went airborne. In that instant, the Oracle Arena exploded in anticipation. 2 easy points, a critical lead, the championship almost within reach. Everything pointed to a Warriors bucket. But then, from the far end of the court, a blur in a black jersey emerged. LeBron James, who had been at the opposite baseline, had read the play from the moment Iguodala grabbed the rebound. He turned and sprinted. Not jogged, sprinted like his life depended on it. He covered nearly the entire court in just over 2 seconds, accelerating to almost 32 kilometers an hour, chasing down the play like predator-like intensity. And then, just as Iguodala released the ball, just as it kissed the backboard and seemed destined to fall in, LeBron James took flight. It wasn't a jump, it was a launch. A final explosion of strength from a body that had already played 45 grueling minutes. He ascended above the rim like a machine of fate, extending his right hand like a sword through time. The ball hit the glass, and in the same breath, LeBron's hand smashed it against the board and sent it flying off course. No foul, no contact with the shooter, just a clean, supernatural block. The arena fell silent for a split second, unable to process what had just occurred. Even the broadcast commentary cracked, the words stumbling out. "Oh, blocked by James," Mike Breen and ESPN. The reaction wasn't just awe, it was disbelief. This wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't human. The timing was perfect, the angle was perfect, the execution was perfect.
Had LeBron been even half a second late, the ball would have dropped through the hoop. Had he been slightly off on his jump, he could have committed goaltending. Had he mistimed the block, he could have missed it entirely. But he didn't. He read the play. He chased it down. He executed with surgical precision. And in doing so, he didn't just stop a basket. He stopped the Warriors' momentum. He stopped the clock. He stopped history in its tracks. For that one moment, time froze. Gravity paused. Destiny blinked. It was more than just a block. It was a statement, a shift, a divine intervention in sneakers. The play became known simply as the block. In a league filled with decades of highlights, clutch shots, and unforgettable moments, few plays transcend their sport and earn a proper name. The block joined that elite list. A 2-word phrase that now evokes one singular image: LeBron James soaring through the air to deny Andre Iguodala at the rim. This wasn't just to stop on defense. It became a myth in motion, the kind of moment that lives beyond slow-motion replays or stats. When people say the block, there's no confusion. There's only LeBron. Andre Iguodala was no ordinary opponent. At the time, Iguodala was not just a solid role player, he was a former Finals MVP, one of the smartest and most athletic wings in the league. He had a full head start, momentum, and a clear path to the basket. Against any other player in the league, that's 2 guaranteed points. But not this time. Not against LeBron. Not in Game 7. LeBron covered 28 meters, the full length of the court, in just 2 seconds. Let that sink in. From the baseline to the other rim in 2 seconds. Most players might jog or lightly trail the play out of fatigue in the final minutes of a Game 7. But LeBron James, sensing danger like a predator, unleashed everything left in the tank. He didn't conserve energy. He didn't hesitate. He committed full speed, full heart. This wasn't just hustle. It was an instinctual reaction rooted in years of discipline, mental toughness, and perhaps something deeper, a refusal to lose. He moved like a linebacker with the speed of a cornerback and the timing of a gymnast. And at full sprint, he didn't slow down to jump. He launched mid-stride like an explosion breaking gravity itself. That moment didn't just stop a layup, it altered the course of NBA history. Cleveland would go on to win the game 93-89, but the momentum swing began with the block. Had Iguodala scored, the Warriors would have gone up by 2 in the final 2 minutes with the crowd in a frenzy and the pressure squarely back on Cleveland. Instead, the block became a turning point. It broke Golden State's rhythm, ignited Cleveland's confidence, and set up Kyrie Irving's legendary three-pointer just moments later. In the box score, it was one defensive stat. In reality, it was the play that won the championship. If you'd like, I can now expand the immediate impact in legacy sections with this same tone and depth. Want to continue? What made this block legendary expanded? At first glance, it was just a defensive play, a block, a player chasing down another and swatting the ball off the backboard. It's happened before in the NBA. So what made this one different? Why do fans, players, and analysts still speak about the block with reverence, as if it were a religious moment in sports history? Because it wasn't just the technique. Yes, LeBron timed his jump flawlessly. Yes, he avoided contact. Yes, he knew the rules well enough to block it after it hit the glass, but before it dropped. But technique alone doesn't write history. There are players with technical brilliance who never see a finals game.
LeBron did more than just execute. He ascended. It wasn't just the timing. There are blocks in the first quarter. There are blocks with the game already decided. But this happened with less than 2 minutes left in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, with the score tied. It was the most high-stakes moment possible. There was no margin for error. If he was half a second too late, the ball would have gone in. If he was half a second too early, it could have been goaltending. There was no time to plan, no time to think. Just instinct, just reaction, just legacy in motion. It wasn't just the effort. We've seen hustle. We've seen chase downs, but not like this. Not from a man in his 46th minute of play. Not from a player who had just carried his team in every statistical category. Not with the weight of an entire city and its 5-decade championship drought on his back. This was more than effort. It was willpower in its purest form. It was sacrifice turned into motion. It was the symbolism. More than anything else, that's what made the block legendary. This wasn't just a highlight for the next day's SportsCenter reel. It was a climactic act in a larger narrative, the story of LeBron James' redemption. In 2010, he had left Cleveland in the most controversial of ways. In 2011, he had faltered in the finals, criticized for not having the killer instinct. He was doubted, mocked, labeled not clutch. But here he was, in 2016, on the road in enemy territory against a 73-win dynasty, putting everything on the line to fulfill a promise he made not to a franchise, but to a people, bring a title back to Cleveland. The block was the moment that summarized everything: the pressure, the burden, the anger, the heartbreak, the return, the mission, the myth. This was LeBron saving his city, not with a dunk, not with a buzzer beater, but with a moment of raw, unrelenting defense. It was an athlete going beyond human limits. Physically, the play made no sense. Emotionally, it shattered logic. By all accounts, he shouldn't have had the energy left. He shouldn't have reached the ball in time. But greatness doesn't follow rules. In that split second, LeBron became something else entirely, not just a player, but a force of nature. It was the past, present, and future of the NBA fused into one moment. The past, the weight of Cleveland's drought, the ghosts of finals failures, the doubts about LeBron's legacy. The present, Game 7, tied score, championship on the line. The future, what this meant for LeBron's standing, for Cleveland, for how we talk about greatness itself. That one play condensed time. It felt like LeBron was rewriting history as he soared, righting wrongs, redeeming wounds, defining eras. That's why people don't just remember the block, they feel it. Because in those 2 seconds, the game wasn't just about basketball. It was about something more primal, more eternal. The will to win, no matter what.
LeBron James has always stood apart in the NBA, not just for his physical gifts, but for the sharpness of his mind, a mind that sees the game several steps ahead. Throughout his career, his basketball IQ has been praised by coaches, teammates, and analysts alike. He reads defenses like an open book, anticipates plays before they happen, and adjusts instantly to the flow of the game.
But in that iconic moment during Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, LeBron showed something deeper. It was more than just knowledge. It was a seamless blend of instinct, vision, and raw courage. The clock was ticking down, the pressure was suffocating, and the entire world was watching. Yet he didn't hesitate. There was no moment spent calculating or second-guessing. Instead, he trusted everything inside him, his training, his experience, and his heart. He moved with a clarity that defied the chaos around him, as if every muscle and every thought were perfectly synchronized. It was as if time slowed down for him, allowing him to see the entire play unfold in his mind before it even began. His eyes scanned the court quickly, pinpointing the exact location of his teammates, defenders, and the basket. In that instant, LeBron became something more than a player. He became a leader, a king, a man born for that precise moment, the kind of moment where legends are made and history is written. His decision was immediate, flawless, and courageous. He acted not out of fear, but out of certainty. This was the mind of a king, a mind that does not just react, but creates opportunities in the midst of pressure, a mind that leads by example, inspiring his team and igniting a city hungry for victory. And it was in that very moment that the world witnessed why LeBron James is not only one of the greatest athletes of his generation, but also one of the greatest minds in sports history. The moment LeBron's block slammed against Andre Iguodala's layup attempt, the entire arena erupted in a mixture of shock and awe. The energy shifted palpably. The Warriors, who had dominated the season and most of the finals, suddenly found themselves on the back foot. The block was more than just a defensive play. It was a declaration that the Cavaliers were not done, not by a long shot. The tension in the game remained thick as every possession now carried the weight of history. The clock continued to tick mercilessly, but the Cavaliers were riding a newfound wave of confidence and belief. The crowd at Oracle Arena, usually deafening in support of Golden State, grew quieter, sensing that something monumental was unfolding. Just moments after LeBron's legendary block, Kyrie Irving stepped up and hit a three-pointer that instantly became etched in basketball lore. With calm precision and unwavering focus, Kyrie's shot sailed through the air, a perfect arc that dropped through the net like destiny itself. It was the biggest three-pointer of his career, a clutch moment that put the Cavaliers ahead and swung the momentum fully in their favor. The Warriors fought desperately to regain control, but LeBron wasn't finished. He pushed forward, driving through contact with determination and grit. When he was fouled hard on his next attempt, it only underscored his resilience and refusal to back down. At the free throw line, LeBron calmly sank both shots, securing the crucial points that would ultimately seal the game. The scoreboard told the final story. Cavaliers, 93. Warriors, 89. Cleveland, a city starved of championship glory for 52 long years, was finally crowned NBA champions. The block, the three-pointer, the free throws, all moments woven together into a climax that transcended basketball. It was a victory of perseverance, heart, and belief. For the fans, for the city, and for the players, this was more than just a game. It was the end of a painful drought and the beginning of a new era. The Cavaliers' triumph would be remembered not just for the numbers on the scoreboard, but for the spirit and willpower that made it possible. The block transcended the moment it happened to become an enduring symbol in the vast tapestry of NBA history. It is no longer just a single defensive play. It has been immortalized as one of the greatest and most iconic defensive efforts ever recorded on the hardwood. For basketball fans around the world, that block is forever etched in memory, replayed countless times as a testament to excellence and determination. This play now comfortably sits alongside other legendary moments that have defined the sport, earning its rightful place on the same revered shelf as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's unstoppable skyhook, a shot so graceful and precise it seemed untouchable. Michael Jordan's iconic fadeaway jumper, a move that symbolized his unstoppable scoring prowess and clutch mentality. Ray Allen's miraculous buzzer beater in the 2013 finals, a shot that changed the destiny of an entire franchise. Yet what truly sets LeBron's block apart is that it was defense, a facet of the game often overshadowed by flashy scoring and highlight reels. It was a moment where LeBron sacrificed his body, his energy, and everything he had in that instant, putting the team's success above his own personal glory. More than just physical effort, the block showcased an extraordinary ability to read the game with split-second precision. LeBron anticipated the trajectory, the timing, and the position of his opponent with an almost sixth sense, a perfect blend of instinct and experience. It was not a reaction, but a premonition, a glimpse into the future of the play before it even fully unfolded. And above all, the block was a pure expression of heart. It embodied the relentless spirit, the grit, and the refusal to accept defeat. In a game where every second counts, where pressure weighs heavy, LeBron's block was a declaration of courage, a bold statement that champions rise when it matters the most. This single act has become a cornerstone of LeBron James's legacy, defining not only his career, but inspiring generations of players to value defense, sacrifice, and leadership just as much as scoring. The block is not just remembered for what it stopped. It is celebrated for what it started: a championship, a city's joy, and a new chapter in basketball history. LeBron James's impossible block was far more than just a spectacular defensive play caught on camera. It was a powerful symbol, a vivid emblem of everything that defines greatness in sports and in life itself. In that single moment, the essence of resilience was captured, showing how unwavering determination can overcome even the greatest odds. It was a testament to faith in oneself, faith in the team, and faith in the dream of victory despite years of struggle and doubt. This block embodied strength, not just physical power, but mental toughness, the ability to push beyond pain, pressure, and expectation. It demanded focus, laser sharp and unbreakable, as LeBron tuned out the noise and tuned in to the game, sensing every move, every possibility. Most importantly, it was an act of sacrifice, giving everything, risking everything for the good of the team and the city that believed in him. In that heartbeat, a man transcended the realm of mere athletes to become a legend, a name forever etched in the annals of basketball history. It was the moment when a team, once doubted and underestimated, became eternal, their story forever intertwined with courage, unity, and triumph against all odds. And it was the moment when a city, burdened by decades without a championship, found its soul again. Renewed pride, joy, and hope that would echo through generations. LeBron's block was more than just a play. It was the spark that ignited a legacy, one that reminds us all that greatness is born not only in victories, but in moments of sacrifice, heart, and unyielding belief. Where were you when it happened? Did you know all the details behind that moment? If this story moved you, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more legendary sports moments.